And we are delighted to be joined by Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher, joining us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Coach, thanks for being with us. First of all, I know you're moving on, but how crazy was that game in College Station Saturday night against Clemson?
It was a tremendous environment. I mean, you had two great teams that played very hard and competed, and it came down to the last play. But the atmosphere, the environment, the culture in which the A&M people have here, it was very special. It really was.
Coach, now you come off the highs of that game. We know on down the road in September 22nd, you've got Alabama, but Louisiana-Monroe comes up this week. How do you turn the focus back on an opponent that can be very easy to overlook at times?
Well, I mean, I think which locker room you want. You want the one you just experienced, or you want the one you had in the first week? And also seeing that the many opportunities in which you had to execute in some critical situations. We have to coach a little better in those situations, and then they have to play a little better. And you can get to that level, and I think hopefully that'll drive us from a hunger standpoint to understand that we're capable of doing things, but we have to go out and finish. And hopefully our practice has been good this week, and hopefully we'll continue through the weekend.
Texas A&M football coach, head coach Jimbo Fisher with us. In the NFL, Jimbo, we always talk about a game like this as being a trap game because you know what's on the one side of it, you know what's on the next side of it. So all kinds of tricks people use, sometimes motivation to make sure they don't fall for the trap game in between. How are you making sure your players don't take the trap this week?
Truth, point blank. Again, goes back to which one you want. And we have plenty of mistakes that we have to fix, and we have to grow as a team. We're in the infant stages of growing here, and these are the next steps we have to take. And if we want to be the program and the team that we want to be and think we can be, you can't look past it because it doesn't matter who you play. Your opponent's faceless, and you have to look at it that way. I mean, I know it's harder. People say it's harder. It's really not if you have a mindset to do it. And hopefully that this weekend was enough that our players see that we left a lot on that field, and we have to clean that up, and we need to get back to work.
Talking to Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M head coach in the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Kellen Mond, your quarterback, had a banner day this weekend against one of the better defenses in college football. You've developed a lot of great quarterbacks over the years, going back to your time at Florida State. What are the things you see in Kellen Mond that are in line with some of the guys you've coached before?
I think, first of all, is competitiveness. I mean, very, very dedicated competitor. And what I mean by that, willing to prepare to compete. A lot of guys want to compete on Saturdays, but he puts the time in, he works. He likes the whys of the game. He studies. He's a very tough guy. He's a very competitive guy. And he has the arm talents and all those things. But to me, those intangibles about the ability to compete, the ability to affect other people, and the ability to put the time in to prepare, I think are very, those are ground roots things that you can't ever overlook. I don't care what it is. And he does all those things.
A&M head football coach Jimbo Fisher with us. And Jimbo, this is one of those odd questions, but Forbes has now rated Texas A&M as the most valuable program in college sports. When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think it means dedication. I think it means resources. I think it means people that athletics is very important. But as you know from A&M, everything here is very important. It's a top 20 institution in the country. Great. The people and the culture and the environment are ridiculous. I mean, as far as their love and passion for the university, but also that they invest in their kids. They invest back into the university for the kids to have personal development, academic development, and athletic development. And that, as I say, that Aggie Network, when you're all done, is special. And I mean, it's what it means. I mean, the people here truly give back, and they want the experience for the next generation to be the same that they had during their generation.
I'm interested when you look at that because you came from a marquee program in college football in Florida State and one of the biggest recruiting hotbeds, and now you go quite literally to the next. I mean, a lot of people would argue those are 1 and 2 on the list. What are the similarities and differences you've seen between two of the biggest football areas in the country?
Well, I mean, I think, listen, Florida is tremendous football. Texas is tremendous football. I mean, they're usually 1A, 1B when you get right down to it. I think that, in the state of Texas, the one thing they do is the resources and the financial backing are tremendous in the high school programs and the Pee Wee programs and the organizations. And I think from that development, number of people that are involved in things that go is tremendous. Florida has unbelievable athletes. I think that the players, the love for the game is just as good. So, I mean, it's 6 one way, half dozen, however you want to take it. But in both places, football is very, very important. They take it very seriously, but it's not the end all. I mean, it's a very important thing, but there's a lot of other things that go into it, and the people in both places are tremendous.
A&M head football coach Jimbo Fisher with us in this college football talk, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Get to your local Walmart today and grab some delicious Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville, now playing everywhere college football games are played. Side note, Dr. Pepper invented in Waco, Texas, not too far away from College Station. I'm sure Jimbo Fisher knows that. As a Baylor alum, I felt the need to point that out, Jimbo. But more importantly, again, as we said, you've got Louisiana-Monroe coming up this Saturday. But again, then it's Tuscaloosa. And you were a former Nick Saban assistant. You were on his staff at LSU. He is 12-0 all-time against his former assistants. What is it about the Nick Saban code that seems so hard to crack?
Well, I just think he does build a great program. He's in a great situation. He's a great coach. They have great staff. They have great support there, and they have great players. And they build a culture that's about success. I mean, it's to a point like New England was. I mean, everybody says, in certain programs in college basketball, college baseball, college pro football, whatever it may be, there's a culture of winning expectation, and you have to achieve that. It's not just about getting good players. It's about the whole encompassing program and the mindset, and that takes time to develop. And I don't know if many, we had a great one going on at Florida State. We won a national championship. We thought we were going to get to play them in a national championship that year. And they had, unfortunately, that return kick. But, they built a great program. They do a great job. And that's what we're going to do. That's why the time here that we want to build the culture that expects to win, how to win. And like you say, that's part of why you say this weekend, why do we overlook it? If we really want that, our players and our coaches, we have to understand how to keep developing that. And everybody has their infant stages of what they do, and they're just farther along than everybody else.